Are you struggling to balance your full-time job with your side hustle? Do you feel burnt out? Well, you're not the only one. What's up everyone? Welcome back to Free to Be. David here, and in today's video I'm going to go over some strategies and tips that you can use to kind of balance your work, balance the load between your full-time job and your side hustle. And these are definitely going to be things that can help you if you've been wanting to pick up some extra work, or you're just really struggling and feeling burnt out because you have picked up a side hustle and are just burning the candle at both ends. You're definitely going to want to watch this entire video because some of these tips can help you. Now, before I get started, as always, if you are new to my channel, I cover financial literacy here in an effort to track my progress to financial independence. And hopefully by doing that, I'm creating valuable content that others can use in their pursuit of financial independence as well. So if you are new to the channel or haven't done so already, please take a moment and just click the subscribe button down below. I really do appreciate it. It's a completely free action and it does support the channel. And if you're not new, thank you for coming back. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's say you have been thinking about picking up some extra work on the side, a side hustle. Well, what should you be looking for, and how do you make sure you do so in an effective way where you're just not spinning wheels or feeling burnt out all the time? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is to pick a side hustle that you're passionate about. Don't just go and get a second job where you're working an extra 30 hours a week and you hate it. Pick a job or pick something that you really just have genuine interest in. That way, it's a fun activity for you to do. You look forward to it, and it doesn't become just a monotonous thing that you're trying to do just to increase your earnings on the side. So set some time and think about things that, make you happy. Think about how you could monetize your hobbies, your passions, and that should be what your focus is in terms of developing that into a side hustle. Now, the second thing you're going to want to do is you're definitely going to want to put in place boundaries between your full-time work, your side hustle, and your personal life. You cannot just have everything run together, because that's actually a really good way to burn yourself out and just be sick of doing all of it. So avoid that at all costs. If you know that your job, your full-time job requires 45, 50 hours a week from you, set that time aside clearly so that you know this is the time that I've allocated to my full-time work and this is what I'm committed to doing. Then set aside another 10 to 15 hours that you're going to be working on your side hustle, whether that's a few hours on the weekend, a couple hours at night. Set some structure around that block as well. The rest of the time is personal time. It's yours to use however you want to use it. Spend it with friends, family, just unwind if you will, but use that time accordingly as well. So just set up some guidelines, set up some boundaries and blocks so that you can be as efficient as possible with your time. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is set up a schedule, which kind of works hand in hand with setting boundaries between your full-time work, your personal life, and your side hustle. Now you want to be a little bit more clear and define the time that you're going to dedicate to each one of these parts of your life. You again don't want it all to run together, because that's a really easy way to burn yourself out. Sometimes if you're starting a side hustle, if you're starting a new business and you're just spinning your wheels and spending all this time, doing what it feels like nothing, you're gonna want to have a little bit more structure. So set up schedules. If you need a brainstorm, set a 2-hour block aside to do that. If you need time to research, set an hour aside to do that as well. Because we all know that if you don't have a schedule in place, you really end up procrastinating and wasting a lot of time. Now, with that also comes finding little pockets of time where you can dedicate specifically and exclusively time to your side hustle. For example, if you are working a full-time job and you're working 8 to 10 hours a day, you're going to have an hour-long lunch break. Instead of spending that time scarfing down food and browsing social media, maybe, eat your lunch and then spend about 45 minutes working on your side hustle. That's a great way to carve out little pockets of time. And yes, little pockets of time don't seem like a lot. 45 minutes a day doesn't seem like a great deal. But when you add that up over the course of 5 days, that's a few extra hours that you've now dedicated to your side hustle without it then eating into your time at home with your personal life. If you have kids, if you have family that you want to spend time with, the time that you spend during your lunch is time that you get back with your family later on in your day. Now, after you've already decided on a side hustle, created boundaries, a schedule, and identified pockets of time, the next thing you're going to want to do is eliminate all distractions during these blocks of time. When you go to work, you're not spending time browsing the internet or perusing social media or watching TV. You're not doing those things, and those things can be distractions. So you should treat your side hustle as another real job, even if you're not making money right away. Don't let yourself get intimidated, and do not let yourself get distracted. So block out all of those distractions. So when the time comes to spend a few hours each day working on your business and building your side hustle and building that income, don't be distracted by having TV on in the background or social media open on your phone. Just focus on the tasks at hand. That way you feel better about actually spending quality time working on your project, and you're not just wasting time doing other things that really just take you away from your main goal. Now, starting a new business, a side hustle, or a part-time job is inherently going to cost you time. And time is such a precious commodity that we have to be mindful that if we spend too much time working and trying to grind and make money, we're really going to end up sacrificing our health. If we're not committed to the exercise we need on a daily basis, to the mindful exercise that we need to take in terms of meditation, breathing exercises to de-stress, sleep, these are all important to our health, and ultimately, without health, wealth means nothing. I've said that before. We've talked about it here on this channel. That is a big part of the FIRE movement. There's no point in retiring young if you're not healthy when that happens, because you're gonna blow through any money that you ended up saving on healthcare costs. So it's really important to spend time and focus a little bit on your health as you're going through this journey as well. So carve out some time for exercise and make sure to incorporate that in your schedule too. And finally, on the days where you're really feeling burnt out and you just don't want to push yourself and you just don't have the motivation, it's really important to take a step back and reflect on why. Why did you decide that you need to pick up a side hustle? Why did you decide that you wanted to build your own business or take on a part-time job? Why? Was it so that you can give yourself some extra freedom financially? Was it that you could get to a certain goal? Just sit back and think about that. Think of the why, because that will ultimately give you a little bit extra motivation to keep pushing on. You have to always look at the bigger picture, even when you're focused on a singular goal, because sometimes being hyper-focused on one thing or one aspect of life can really become overwhelming. So step back, think about why you're doing it all. Is it really worth it? And if it is, there's your motivation, and keep pushing forward. And that's pretty much it, guys. There's not really much that goes into managing your time when it comes to starting your own business, a side hustle, but there are things that you should be mindful of. Specifically, you need to make sure that you have your structure. You need to make sure that you set boundaries. Don't neglect your health. You have to really be focused on all of these things, because all of them work as one. Because neglecting one piece or one component of this whole picture will really impact the other parts adversely. So have you started a side hustle? What's worked for you? Let me know that in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and share it, and don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, please take a moment and just click the subscribe button down below. Again, it's a completely free action to take, and it really does help support my videos, and we'll see you next time.